Hi, from Grandma Joy. Do you like flowers? I do, like this pink rose. It smells so sweet and nice. It's just a little tiny pink rose. What do you think about it if I let you see it more? Let's look at some other flowers and see if we can learn some names of some flowers we haven't seen before and maybe see some familiar flowers too. There I am at a garden with red roses on the trellis around me. Aren't they beautiful? You probably know roses now. You've seen a pink rose and a red rose. Let's see what other flowers. That flower was way above my head. That was a super tall sunflower stretching high for the sun. Isn't that fun? There's an amaryllis. Amaryllis are showy flowers. It even has a little bit of almost glitter on it. Let's see a group of amaryllis. Look at that. Aren't they pretty together? I call them peppermint amaryllis with their red and white Christmas look. That flower reminded a lot of people of an animal. So they named it to remind them of that. It's called a bird of paradise. There's a shy flower. It's called a camellia. It's very delicate. And there's another camellia. It's growing higher on a bush. Camellias can grow into very large bushes. For delicate flowers, they have a lot of strength. There are some carnations. Look at the frilly edges. Isn't that fun? And how about this daffodil? Daffodils are sunny flowers, usually, aren't they? With a cup there. Though daffodils can look different. This is another type of daffodil. And so it's got more petals, but it still grows from a bulb and has the same type of leaves and stalk as all daffodils. Just like all of these. And if you look in the background here, you'll see some different types of daffodils besides the one that's closest. This is one of my favorite flowers. It's a dahlia. Look at how it seems to almost be dancing with joy being out in the garden, right? And it's got peach and yellow on it. Just look at all those petals. There's another dahlia that's almost all pink. And there's a dahlia that's almost all orange. And look at it in the blue sky with all its petals going every which way. It's a very individual flower. These flowers all look similar, but aren't they beautiful too? These are daisies. There are different types of daisies, and this is one of my favorite. This is a freesia. Freesias smell very sweet. It's a very sweet, wonderful smell. And they're pretty too. This is a gazania. Gazanias are exciting because they grow in all sorts of different variations. The colors on the petals can be white or red or pink or orange or yellow, and they can have many different varieties for the center part too. Let's look at some more gazanias. Look at that one. Red and green in the center with yellow at the very center, right? It's like, look at all those colors. It's very colorful. And there's almost like a sunburst, right? It's all yellow, but it's got those red and black flashes. And you could tell I just watered the garden because there's some water on the petals at the bottom. But of course, flowers need water, and that makes them happy and they can grow more. Some flowers need more water than others, though. This gazania is a little different. Isn't it pretty too? These are daisies, but they're Gerber daisies, and this one's called a spider Gerber daisy. Isn't it interesting? This is a harlequin flower. It looks sort of like a popping flower, doesn't it? This is an iris, and it's very delicate and dainty looking. Most iris are purple, and this is one of the most common iris, but still gorgeous. This is lavender. A lot of people enjoy lavender for the scent. People use that scent for soap and for perfume and many different things. This plant is a laetris. And look at how fuzzy and funny those blooms look. And it starts blooming on the top and then moves down. And this flower is great because it needs almost no water. It grows in drought conditions. Isn't that pretty? This is similar but different. It's got purple stalks. This is called a lupin. I love lupin. This is a Mexican primrose. It's also good for growing when it's hot or very warm and with very little water. Similar to this one, this is actually a sage plant. So it can be used as an herb, and this particular one's a pineapple sage. So the leaves and the flowers smell like pineapple. They're very sweet smelling. This smells sweet too. It's a tropical flower called plumeria. Plumeria is a very fun, nice scent. These are from California, and they're called poppies, golden poppies. These are a similar color, but very different in the look, and these are called ranunculus. That's sort of a big word, right? Ranunculus. Can be fun to pronounce. Now we're into the roses. This is a rose that is yellow and pink and looks very delicate and frilly, doesn't it? It was difficult for me to pronounce there for a second. Okay. There's a yellow rose. And notice it's just opening up from the bud. There's a pink and red variegated rose. And there's the pink rose that you saw at the very beginning. It's actually very, very small, but it's a very pretty pink rose. There's a brilliant rose in both yellow and red. The inside of the petals are red, 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 and the outside of the petals are yellow, right? Doesn't it look like ketchup and mustard? Oh, we sort of skipped. I'm going to go back here and look at this because this is a nice, relaxing photo. When you've been doing a lot of work, you could relax, maybe look at your smartphone or iPad or read a book out in the shade in a nice chair with a rose smelling sweet nearby. And then this is for good luck. It's a shamrock. So you've got shamrock leaves and shamrock flowers in pink and yellow. And they're usually considered good luck plants. And so now we're going to have our fun flowers guessing game and see if you can remember some of the flowers we looked at earlier. This picture has two flowers. Can you name both of them? In the front, at the bottom, we have poppies. And in the middle, we have lupin. In the very back, there's a flower I didn't mention, but that's lantana. This is a daffodil. And those are dahlias. Here's some amaryllis. And now we have that flower that was named after an animal, a bird of paradise. There's that shy camellia and the happy daffodil. There's a rose. We have the little pink rose again. The main flower that's peachy orange here are dahlias. The blue flower you haven't seen before, those are larkspur. The field here is a field of iris. Now we have a pineapple sage, that sweet pineapple smelling plant. There's the harlequin flower. That's a carnation. And of course, there you have a gazania. What's that? That's a dahlia, but there's something in the center of that flower. Do you notice in the very center? There's a bee, and the bee is collecting pollen, right? So bees go around and collect pollen, and they love dahlias. And that's one reason I have that in the children's picture book that I wrote and illustrated. Baby Bees Happy Dance. Another video I have is of reading that book if you're interested. So there's the bee in the center of the dahlia. And if you look very carefully up above the bee, there's a petal, and then halfway to the top of the screen, you will see another insect peeking out. That's a little tiny, tiny grasshopper. Here's a field of sunflowers. Isn't it beautiful when you have so many flowers all together like that? This field of sunflowers was in Oklahoma. Just wonderful. And that's pretty much the end of our guessing game. I love the red roses on the trellis, and I like being in a garden with roses or other beautiful flowers. Let's look at just a few more slides for fun. What other insects might like flowers? Let's look. Might be a butterfly, right? So there's a butterfly enjoying lantana. And let's end with Z for zinnia. That's a fun word to pronounce, isn't it? Z for zinnia. And that's it for today. And I hope you enjoyed our Fun Flowers guessing game. Bye from Grandma